Hey everybody, John Granato from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, and that's AJ Hoffman. He's on the Blitz. That's afternoons on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Please hit subscribe right now so you get all our content here on SportsMap HOU. AJ, Peter King said this week that the sources told him that the Dolphins were not thrilled about re-signing Laremy Tunsil to a second contract, which made their decision to trade him to the Texans for all that stuff Bill O'Brien gave up that much easier. How ironic is it that the Dolphins didn't want to pay a tackle top market price to be on a team that was still rebuilding, so Tunsil ended up on a team that's paying him more than any other left tackle in the league on a team that's rebuilding. Ironic to you?
Sometimes I think that these stories come out only to troll the Texans, only to make you say, God, you guys think you're stupid? No, you're even stupider than you thought. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think that. I mean, the Dolphins were not in a position where they were, where they were going to somehow, that left tackle was going to make them a championship contender. Ironically, they did trade him away to a team that thought they were getting close, and they've since gone downhill, and all the assets that the Dolphins got for Tunsil have really put them in a position where in the next year or two, they could really be a team that explodes. So it is painful, but it's also unsurprising that that's the way it worked out. And you're right. Realistically, the Dolphins at that time, it wouldn't have made much sense for them to sign Laremy Tunsil to that kind of a deal. And I don't think they had any intentions of signing him to the deal that the Texans did. So Laremy Tunsil really got the best case scenario that he could have gotten.
No kidding. And how difficult were the negotiations? And they wouldn't answer their calls, and then he said $22 million, and they say, okay. And Bill O'Brien, well, they did this deal to protect Deshaun. And at the time, you know what? Priority one was to protect Deshaun because that was the year that he got beat up. He had to take the bus ride to Jacksonville because of his ribs and everything else. Deshaun, you had to protect the franchise. Well, now that the franchise is going to be gone, which we all know, it all seems like. If he is gone, why keep Tunsil? And if you can trade him after next year, and when the dead cap money isn't extraordinary, do you get rid of him and save a little bit of money?
100%. Laremy Tunsil's a waste on this team right now. This is a team that is not going to be good, period. Now, the one caveat is if you really believe Davis Mills is your long-term quarterback. I don't. But if you really believe that, you don't want him to go out there and get David Card. You don't want him to get so beat up early on that he never reaches any potential. That said, you don't have the kind of investment in him that you had in David Carr. So it doesn't make as much sense. Now, if they go out next year and draft a quarterback with a top 3, top 5 pick, then it kind of resets that conversation. Like, do we need Tunsil here for a year or two until we can build up some things around him? Maybe. If that's not the case, though, I'm willing to move on from a left tackle that is very good but overpaid, and really he's the one piece on this team that it should be in total rebuild mode that makes absolutely no sense. Like, the way the roster is constructed, and especially with Deshaun gone, there's no reason to have that guy in this roster. It doesn't fit.
Well, I'm Team Davis Mills. So I say you're going to have to keep Tunsil because you got to protect that franchise quarterback in Davis Mills. So that's where you and I differ, my friend. If you did trade Tunsil away, is it a reset? Is everything that Bill O'Brien did to this organization? Can we can open our eyes and see? Okay, it's a whole new world, or we still have Jack Easterby.
Bill O'Brien brought Jack Easterby into the house. Until he's gone, O'Brien's stink is still on this franchise. People should never forget that even though Easterby is the one who basically cut his head off, he was the one who brought him in the house. So do not pretend like the O'Brien era is over when Laremy Tunsil's gone, because Bill O'Brien brought Jack Easterby to the Texans.
And it's still, the people that they're firing over there. Now they fired the ball boys.
Well, that'll
this
fix
last
everything.
week. Now, I mean, obviously, how can you keep people that have been there since the onset that catch punts before the game and they drive the injury cart or they pull the cord? You got to have, I mean, we got to straighten that out. Okay, these guys that are catching the punts in the pregame, we gotta straighten this out because this is terrible the way we're doing it around here.
What's funny is ironically, those guys are actually better at catching punts than the actual players they've been signing. So it's I do think that maybe there was some competition there. Maybe the players felt threatened. Let's get rid of these punt catching guys. I don't like that. I don't like the way they're not fumbling.
Maybe they just don't go to the right church. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but we got to get these guys out of the building. They're killing us.